Hey there cats, good time of the day to you and huge thanks for tuning into my channel. And today I'm going to show you like really basic stuff about Unity modding. Pretty much every game on Unity engine can be modded with an assortment of tools that I will show to you. In fact, short introduction, this is kind of a problem in modern gaming, you know? The fact that the games of previous decades were mostly developed on different console, very different hardware, like games from the 90s, 2000s even. They've had very different engines and that stuff varied a lot, so every game needed its own approach. And today we have like about 2-3 general engines, and pretty much everyone, especially in the indie circles, develops its games on those engines. And from one point of view, it kinda hinders the creativity of the whole gaming industry. It's an arguable point, but I'm not going to delve into it, I'm just saying it. You know, this kind of point exists. But on the other hand, one tool fits them all. And I've found the thing that prompted me to make this video is the fact that I found an absolutely wonderful tool that is so radical that in theory it can make every game your bitch, for the lack of any better word, because really this tool can do anything with the Unity game. And as our guinea pig, we're gonna use Road Redemption. I've installed this game first about half a year ago and tried to make some voodoo with DNSpy. In fact, I've tried to select and unselectable bikes. This game is kind of like MotorStorm, you know? It has a lot of unselectable bikes and characters which are either unselectable at all or are confined to the online modes. And so I've tried to make those things selectable with DNSpy. I failed, but these days around I found this new, fucking fresh, perfect tool which I've decided to throw on this game, and it worked perfectly. And so I want to show to you how to select all the unselectable stuff in Road Redemption. So first of all, let's start installing tools. Let's start with the general tools that I use with my Unity games. So we have AssetBundleExtractor, which here's our folder with Road Redemption. I just extract my tools into this folder mostly, which has all the assets files in it. So just extract my AssetBundleExtractor here. AssetBundleExtractor is one of two mainline tools for Unity, which will allow us to replace the textures and whatever else we want to replace in it assets-wise. To browse those assets, I prefer AssetStudio though. AssetStudio is much more comfortable for browsing, but not as comfortable. In fact, it is, as far as I am aware of, it is not the newest version, but my version of AssetStudio just unable to replace textures at all, so we have to resort to AssetBundleExtractor to actually do changes. AssetStudio, however, has much nicer interface and it is overall much easier to work with it. My asset tools, I just extract them here, and once the game is deleted, these instances of asset tools are deleted with it, and I just extract these tools into every Unity game I have. We also have DNSpy, which I usually extract somewhere here as well. It doesn't quite work like asset tools because DNSpy, it is a coding tool, and it actually stores a lot of stuff in the, I'm not even sure how it is called in English, regedit, the thing that you open with regedit command. What is it? On Russian it's called reestr, but on English I'm not sure. Anyway, DNSpy stores a lot of information here or somewhere else, I'm not quite sure, but the fact is, if you delete an instance of DNSpy, it is not quite deleted from your PC, and it keeps all the information somewhere on your PC. I don't care much, and I will not even use DNSpy in this video. I'm just letting you know that it exists, and it is actually a very powerful tool, because It allows you to do a lot of stuff, but it doesn't let you to do anything with assets. DNSpy, unlike the previous two tools, BundleExtractor and Studio, DNSpy is a coding tool which actually allows you to delve into the code of the game and program the stuff of your own into it. And actually it is very powerful, but at the same time it is quite uncomfortable. And the tool that I want to showcase in this video, am I even recording it? Yeah, cool. The tool I want to showcase in this video is also a coding tool, but it is way more powerful than the DNSpy. But it actually can work in tandem with DNSpy. I'll showcase it in a bit. Now, finally, the last two tools which I usually use, but once again not in this case, in fact, usually the bad word, I use these two tools rarely, is Unity EX and Unity Text. I'm not sure why, but Unity requires specific tools to edit text assets of it. AssetBundleExtractor and AssetStudio do not quite work with text in Unity games. I've only used this tool like once with the game Starcrawlers. But when I use these tools, I usually just extract them, or attempt to use these tools, I just extract them into the same folder where all the assets are as well. So, these two tools, AssetBundleExtractor and AssetStudio, I'll showcase a bit later. Now let's install our, like, mainliners, our the like top of our today's show. And the tool in question is called the Unity Explorer. And in order to function correctly, we need a special hook for the Unity games that is called BepInEx. So, as for BepInEx, I will attach all the links in the description as usual. As for BepInEx, here is the part that you should know. Come on, highlight. I'm highlighting it, but I will not read it, you will read it yourself. And for Unity Explorer, pretty much this is all you need to know. However, this page also has quite a bunch of information, which is kind of useful if you go for it. But I find that it mostly concerns screenshot stuff, you know, frames, lighting, all that stuff. I will actually go about accessing things, so my video is a bit different from this page. So first things first, we need to install BepInEx. In fact, let's open this. Yeah. We just extract it into the game, into the folder of the game. And this is a default installation of a game. I only launched this Road Redemption, this instance of Road Redemption once, and I did it to switch it to windowed mode, because when it is in full screen, for some reason, at least in my case, the game reacts very... how to say it? Alright, when you exit the game with Windows button, it just crashes. And it is very comfortable to work with Windows buttons, so I've switched it to windowed mode. And otherwise, this is just default Road Redemption, which I've just extracted several tools into. So, we extract our BepInEx here. Make sure you've chosen the correct BepInEx according to all this information. For Road Redemption specifically, BepInEx version 5 works quite correctly. And so far in BepInEx folder, we only have the folder core, so we need to launch Road Redemption once. And let me just check if it records nicely. Oh yeah, works fine. Alright, cool. So, as we launch Road Redemption, we can exit it and check out if BepInEx actually managed to connect. And as we can see, a bunch of folders appeared, so this means yes, BepInEx connected alright. Now to install Unity Explorer, we need to open the plugins folder in the BepInEx folder. And this is wrong, it is editor, we will not touch this for now, I'm not even sure how it works. Anyway, here's the correct folder. We need to copy this folder into our plugins folder in BepInEx. And now, when we launch Road Redemption, it will look like... drumroll... Yes, it will look like this. Check it out, man. Now this is how a game should look, if you ask me. A whole lot of stuff to play with for the player. So what can I say? Let's drop right into it, I believe. What should I start with? First things first, to select any bike and any player model we want, we need to enter the selection screen, which is named in the scene as garage. But what we actually got to work with it is don't destroy unload scene. And thing I like to search here for is the word Harley, because Harley Davidson is one of the default bikes and it is always in the garage, so we just pump in Harley into this folder and click enter, press enter. And now what we need is 0 selection wheel. We double click it and then we double click this component, a rare bike selection wheel. And here we have the menu, a rare bike selection wheel, available bikes, and then a rare bike selection wheel, available riders. Basically, yes, this is our bikes and this is our riders. So it starts with 0, and the very first bike in our menu is this Honda CBD. And Harley Davidson is the bike number 2. And yes, note that it is named Harley in the menu, but in the code it is actually Harley. Hopefully devs won't get kind of a lawsuit about it, but anyway. So our Harley Davidson is garage bike number 2. So we click inspect, and here it is, Harley Davidson Black Red Flames. Now let's change it, I'd say. What do you want to change it for? Now I have to know that to search for bikes we open object search, and to search for class filter, we need to pump in this thing, a rare bike attributes. Bike attributes. Yeah, we punch in a rare bike attributes and we play search. And here we have pretty much all the instances of the currently loaded bikes, which is not the old bikes which are actually in the game. For example, if we will search for Harley right now, we will only get Black Red Flames and brown, and I know for sure that there is a yellow Harley Davidson in the files of the game. So to load it up we need to go to Scene Explorer, and here is the scene loader at the bottom of it. And we can load a scene here, and here's opening, splash, main menu, garage and empty, which are pretty much default scenes, and underneath the empty we have all the playable levels. And obviously when the game loads one of these levels, it loads the associated actors, characters, bikes, everything that is associated with this level. The game loads when it loads this scene, and we can load this scene right now manually. So let's load Devil Bridge, and I prefer load additive, but it is really up to you. And just a bit of waiting. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pow! Come on, don't embarrass me, game. Yeah, here, the wheel started to spin, so the scene is loaded. And if we will search for Harley again, here it is. Bike Harley Police, Bike Harley Red, and Bike Harley Yellow. And I like the yellow Harley. So here's what we do. Once again. Oops, I've closed the selection wheel, pardon me, let me... So yeah, once again, we open the selection wheel, we double click and open a rare bike selection wheel component. We inspect our bikes, we inspect bike number 2 or whichever you want to replace. You open the Harley bike yellow, and then you click in this model, in this window, bike Harley yellow. We press copy to clipboard. Then we go to our garage bike menu, and instead of this line, garage bike prefab, we press past, which inputs our bike Harley yellow attributes. And to check if it works correctly, we need to select our Harley Davidson by pressing space. And yes, as you can see, the bike changed its color. Now, if you want to change your bike now for something else, it is important not to change the bike while you are in the player selecting screen. You need to return to the bike selecting screen. As you see, it doesn't quite work correctly, but at least it doesn't freeze. If you change your bike model in the player selection screen, your game will crash. And to make it work even better, we actually need to reload the scene. It means exit to the main menu and then enter the campaign again. And now our bike is just Harley yellow from the very start. Now, there is actually one thing that will prevent us from selecting this bike. If we will right now select it and go into the game will freeze, and I will show you why. If we will go to the rare bike attributes, by inspecting it we can notice that the line rare bike attributes bike profile for player is null. And this is why this bike has no handling, no physics, nothing that is associated with the player. How to fix it? Easily. Here's our garage bike, and you can see that the first line is still the bike Harley Black Red Flames. We press inspect on it, and here's the bike profile for player here. It is bike profile accessible 3, so we just copy it and paste it into the bike profile for player in our bike Harley Yellow. This is it. Our bike is now selectable. There are also a couple other null lines which we can quickly fix up, just like this, by copy pasting it from the bike Harley, just like this. Since these bikes are identical, it is perfectly safe to fix these lines by copying it from the Black Red Harley Davidson. Now this bike profile accessible 3, it is not necessary to use this bike profile. You can use whichever bike profile you want. You can make this Harley Davidson to use, for example, this bike profile, Golden Jet, with maximum acceleration, max speed, nitro boost, and steering. Anything you want, really. For example, our Golden Jet should be... Where's our selection wheel? Here it is, this one. Bike Cyberbike Gold, and we inspect it, and bike profile Crazy, we can use it as a bike profile for Harley Davidson, like this. Anyway, now it is loadable. Now, for the player, let's return to the point 1 once again, close everything related to bike. So, once again, in the Object Explorer, Scene Explorer, make sure we select Don't Destroy on Load. We press 0 selection wheel. When it opens, we press a rare bike selection wheel, and now we inspect the second line, a rare bike selection wheel available riders. Here are riders, once again starting with 0, so Dutch is our 0 guy. Let's inspect him. And unlike bike, rider is made out of 2 details: helmet and rider. Rider prefab and helmet prefab. So let's replace him with something. A rare rider attributes. Since we've reloaded the scenes, once again, if we'll press search now, we'll need to clean name. There's no rider named Harley. So if we press search now, these are not all the riders that are available again. Since we've reloaded the garage, the game cleared a scene we've loaded, the Devil's Breach, so let's load it again. This is a good scene, it actually contains a lot of stuff that I like, but it is not all the stuff that I like. Some riders and bikes are only available in other scenes, so... sorry, my mouse wheel glitches a bit, I need to clean my mouse again. Anyway, you might want to click through these scenes to find what you want to find. I just know that all the stuff I use is in Devil's Breach. Anyway, we've loaded Devil's Breach, now we can search for the model Fat Biker. Search. And my model is Replace. Now, unlike bike, riders do not have anything related to the player-related attributes. Well, actually they do have, and let me find this line. Here it is. Player profile. But every rider, even unselectable AI one, has the player profile set to vanilla 0. I haven't met a rider in the files of the game that didn't have this line already set for you. So you can just copy him to clipboard and paste him in the rider prefab. Just like this. Now, to see if we actually made the changes, we have no other option. Well, we actually can see that we've made the changes. As you can see, the profile is already unloaded. But in order to make the changes, we need to reload our scene once again. But before we will do it, with unselectable riders, there can be several errors. And one of the errors is the fact that rider Fat Biker doesn't have a correctly assigned helmet. It is a bit above his head. I just know that. And I will right away just grab a helmetless value from some other garage rider, and I will copy paste it in here. And now we can reload our scene just like this. And here's my rider, helmetless Fat Biker. So this is anything that when it comes to riders. You just search for the rider attributes you want, and then you equally easily search for the helmet attributes you want. Just like this. You open it, you copy them, and you paste them into your garage rider menu. Once again, if it will fail to load, if your game will fail to load for whatever reason, please do make note of this player profile menu of this player profile line. Once again, so far every rider I've seen had this line filled, but in case something goes off, it is likely this line, because yeah, it can happen. Now, before we'll start, let me explain to you some of the functions of the game. Let's once again open our second rider. So, as you can see, we here on the left have name, some stats, and the weapon icon. My current rider has no name, no stats, and no profile icon. Thing is, it doesn't matter. It is purely graphical user interface thing. As long as my rider's attributes are set to vanilla 0, it will have vanilla 0 stats. All these things that you see on your screen when you select NitroPunk are only for players' comfort. They otherwise do not really change anything. What really changes everything is this sole line. As a matter of fact, when I was trying to search for weapons, I've almost... Oh boy, that was hard. Searching for weapons was hard. I found it in DN Spy that somebody named Dave refused to tie the selection of weapon to these selected icons, and instead insisted on tying those weapons to this player profile line. And sincerely, Dave, whoever you are, I kind of hate you. Oh boy. Here's our Gorilla Bulldog Blue-Red Rider. And here are those lines. Attributes description, GUID, name. It all doesn't matter. It's all GUID lines. And somewhere here I believe there's also, player profile, weapon icons. Thing is, we can change this to whatever, like, let's change it to no guns, which is this profile. This profile, Nathan Algren, no guns. And if we will apply it on NitroPunk, nothing will change. But if we will select this rider now, he will behave exactly like Nathan Algren. That's how it works. I know it's perhaps not quite easy to grasp, but that's how it works here in this game. Once again, obviously, every game, even though they all use Unity as an engine, they are a bit different. So every time you open the game, there are different scenes, different code shenanigans you will have to deal with, but still, Unity Explorer is a tool that fits them all in one way or another. So once again, all these graphical user interface lines, they mean nothing. What actually determines the health percentage, nitro percentage, all the stuff, weapons, is this line. And my Fat Biker currently set to... What was that for the default rider? I don't know, let's actually set them to Vanilla 1 to demonstrate it. I definitely remember that Vanilla 0 has 2 default weapons. Vanilla 1 has only one weapon. This is Nitro Punk, he's Vanilla 3 and he only has the range. Vanilla 1 is the Moto Soldier and he should only has a broom handle as his weapon. And so we are loading. And the default rider Vanilla 0 has a broom handle and a pipe, I believe. So, here we are on the track. Almost. Yeah, here we are. And yes, we only have the broom handle, as you can see, just as I promised. So it works, and it works quite nicely. Alright, so now let's change our Fat Biker's weapons back to Vanilla 0. Just like this. And it is kind of important for me to demonstrate you the following example of things, of weapons with the Fat Biker model, because Fat Biker quite amply demonstrates several issues which you may encounter when you select normally unselectable riders as your player model. So our current weapons are set to Vanilla 0, which should be, as I've said, a broom handle and a pipe. And here we are.
Hey there, Jacker.
Yeah.
Do you really
here's our broom handle and here's our pipe. But let's say that we do not want these lousy starting weapons. So the question is, how do we add weapons, right? Easily peasily. So, once again, first we go to the Scene Explorer. We can close all this stuff now. And now we search for Don't Destroy Unload Scene once again. Correct. And now we search for Combat. And we need this second line which says Combat Object. And here we need the line which says Weapon Selector. And now this is kind of funky, and this is what's amazing about this tool. I really didn't notice this at all, and if you really want to master this tool, you gotta spend hours in it and just read all these lines which I'm guiding you through. I'm just showcasing you the crucial ones for the quick entrance, so to say. But thing is, under the lines we have these orange method lines which say evaluate. And it took me a while, but what method is in Unity, it's probably Unity terminology, because I'm not sure, I've never met it like this, I've never saw it written like this. Methods are like snippets of code which we can execute separately, which is awesome. What I wanted to do really is to modify these rider profiles, like, pardon me, rider attributes. Where's my vanilla Fat Biker? What I really wanted to do originally was to modify this Vanilla 0 and other profiles, but I have no idea what they are written. I've spent at least one whole night trying to locate this stuff, and I failed. But these awesome method lines in Weapon Selector actually allow us to acquire new weapons right in the game. I guess it is not quite as amazing as modifying existing profiles, as you got do it manually, since these are memory modifications, so they are reset every time you start a new game. But it is still better than nothing, and I'd say it is still quite comfortable, in my opinion at least. Once again, probably not as amazing. Whoever Paul is, or Dave, or whatever his name, why the fuck he decided that it is a good idea to attach the weapons to player profile, I don't know. And I have no idea where player profiles are stored. I failed to find them. If you know where to find them, please do tell. But here's how I add weapons. And I suppose that's how you add weapons. So let's add ourselves a shotgun, I suppose. So weapon class filters, they are different. If we'll enter weapon here, Unity Explorer will, so to say, offer us a selection of different class filters. And the two main ones are swingable melee weapon, which is for, well, swingable melee weapons, and ray trace projectile weapon, which is for firearms. There's also a bunch of others, which you will have to explore for yourself, I suppose, because, yeah, I cannot cover anything in one rather short video. But for the shotgun, we go for the ray trace projectile weapon, and we punch in shotgun. Actually, let's punch nothing and just press search. Here they are. And I usually prefer the lowermost shotgun. Now it will be a good moment to say that each weapon has basically two menus with parameters. One is this one we are in now, and the other one is the one under shotgun object, game object. We'll come to this one a bit later, and so far you can take a look at this one. The most important the most important parameter here is a ray trace bullet damage, not the ray trace bullet damage for AI. And I think it is named swingable melee weapon damage or something like that for swingable melee weapons accordingly. Anyway, I will keep it unchanged for now, but I think modifying combat damage is useful if you like the weapon model and you want to upgrade the weapon's damage without upgrading the model. Keep the model you like. Anyway, we copy our shotgun object to the clipboard. We go to the weapon selector, we choose this method, acquire new weapon, we paste the weapon shotgun into weapon base, and I'm pretty sure GUI message can be empty, but I prefer to punch in true, and we press evaluate. This is it, we have a shotgun now. It should be in slot 2, and here it is. And well, now, either before you add a shotgun or after you add a shotgun, in this instance after you add a shotgun, so we, in our weapon selector, we open the slot 2 weapons, we inspect this precise shotgun we just added, and we press inspect shotgun object, and then we press view parent, and in view parent we go for the component player shotgun combat controller. And here all the parameters for our shotgun. Among other things, player combat controller starting rounds, and we need to replace it with, like, I don't know, 999. I know that 999 rounds is more than enough to complete the game with it. I've only spent like 400 rounds per one usual game. Here's our shotgun. And it's 999 rounds plus a little bit of extra. Said extra is from my bonuses in the career, which I've bought in the wheel, in the tree, in the skill tree. Yeah, from my bonuses which I bought in the skill tree. So, what I wanted to show you now is the fact that we've got sword, and as you can see, since our rider is unselectable, the sword isn't quite positioned right, which can be quite of a nuisance. However, this is easy to fix. So once again we go to our weapon selector, and now that we've got our sword, it should be in weapon 0 weapons list. We select our sword, And now we scroll right here to the weapon-based weapon stow spot. In fact, to make it easier, here's a filter names lines, and you can just stow spot, punch in stow spot into it. And we select from the back, we press it to the on bike, and we apply it. And now we need to select our sword and deselect it. And now, as you can see, it is not stored on the back of our character model, but somewhere on bike. The same problem occurs with the Magnum or Uzi weapons, which are stored on hip, since Fat Biker is not a selectable character model. The Uzi and Magnum weapons are not stored quite correctly. You can either fix it when you acquire those weapons accordingly, or you can fix it from the very start yourself. In fact, let me demonstrate it to you. So, to fix it from the very start yourself, you gotta do it like this. When you start your game, you right away go for combat right here. As we didn't change anything, the game simply loaded this for us, this menu for me, for us, for whatever, for whoever uses the game at the moment. We go into the weapon selector. Oops, some extra click. And right now we go for, say, let's search it again. We go for Uzi, we go for shotgun, we go for Magnum. And right away we change it, before even adding it to our model, to the on bike, apply, and shotgun is alright, and Uzi is also set to right hip, and we change it to on bike, and we press apply. And what we also need is swingable melee weapon. Oops. Swingable melee weapon, machete. Just like this. And we change it to on bike again. Just like this. And now we just add all these weapons to our current player. So here it is, acquire new weapon, evaluate, past, true, evaluate, Uzi, shotgun, Magnum, and finally machete. Like this. And we are ready. As you can see, all the weapons are now stored on bike and do not interfere with our player model. And it's all fine, mighty fine. I recommend you just not to use the weapons you don't want to use, and do not... Oh yeah, my shotgun lost its bullets, because the previous time I've added bullets, I've added it to the shotgun I've already added to the player. If I'd added this to the default shotgun, which I've added now, it would have had 999 bullets from the very start. Either way, something didn't quite work with Uzi for whatever reason. As you can see, it is stored on my hip. But that's how you do it. So if I don't like this Uzi, which is stored in my hip, I just fix it here. Like if it really bothers me. I wonder why. I didn't press apply, I believe, right? This is Magnum. This is a shotgun. And this is Uzi. No, I've pressed apply. For whatever reason, it is still on my hip. Yeah. But alright. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. Something along these lines. Either way, by the end of the first lane, you should be... by the end of the first level, you should be comfortably set with all the weapons you want to use with your career. Like through your story mode run, so to say. And that's how it goes. Pardon me for the laggy gameplay, but as I'm recording the video in the windowed mode, yeah, it just doesn't quite records correctly. Anyway, that's how it does. That's how it done. So, what else can I show you? First of all, there are some Becker's weapons, and you gotta open DLC weapon prefab swap and press search. And you will see that there are 3 scripts for Becker's weapons. One that swaps Kettle Prod, Bat Metal Spiked, and Warhammer. So, if you do not have these DLCs applied to your game, you can just add Becker's weapons as you add any other weapon by add swingable melee weapon and let's say guitar. Pum pum. Here's weapon Becker guitar. And like this. And we go into our method acquire new weapon and we press evaluate. And here's my guitar. Like this. Usual stuff, you know. Now, what this is, if you do not have DLCs, it should work like this, like normally. However, I run my game through the Steam emulator, and Steam emulator by default unlocks all the DLCs that are in the game, and this means that I cannot really choose weapon, hammer, war, super long player. The game will automatically switch it to the Becker guitar weapon, and I cannot select weapon bat metal spiked because the game will switch it to the weapon bat chain Becker. In fact, allow me to demonstrate it. So, bat metal spiked. Let's say I want bat metal spiked. Actually, to demonstrate it, thing is, swingable melee weapons are slot 2 and you only can get 4 weapons per slot. So in order to demonstrate it, I have to reload my game again. Pardon me. It will take just a moment. And here we go. Back into the game. Let's reload. Let's close everything unrelated to our current issue. And let's reload the combat. In 1, 2, 3, here's our combat object. Oops. Extra clicks, extra clicks. Weapon selector. So, I want bat metal spiked. I click it, I copy it to clipboard, and I go down, and I press evaluate, all the usual jazz. And what I get is this bat. And this is weapon chain Becker. Once again, this is because I have my DLCs activated by Steam emulator. So if I want a non-DLC weapon, in my case, I got to enter this DLC prefab weapon swap and replace the line which says DLC needed. And I just replace it with random gibberish, usually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 works quite nicely, and I press apply. And now the game will not be able to recognize this DLC. I cannot really add this bat again, but yeah. anymore. But if I'll reload the game one more time, gotta do it rather often to learn things. Once again, pardon me. And if we will launch our race once again and choose our combat object once again, here it is, weapon selector, acquire new weapon, evaluate past, true, and evaluate, and continue. And now,
I've seen you ride.
as you can see, I actually have a spiked metal bat, because this line which swaps my weapon with the Becker weapon does not longer contain the right DLC code. And I can actually now assign myself a chain bat as well, alongside a spiked one, just like this. Didn't work for whatever reason. Oh, now it worked. Probably didn't press evaluate perfectly. And now I have both the Becker bat and the default bat. So kinda neat things, and there are only 3 DLCs like this. The one with the stun gun cattle prod, the one with the metal bat or chain bat, and one with the hammer war and guitar. Once again, the line is DLC needed, and you just replace it with gibberish and press apply, and this is how you disable the DLC. Of course, alternatively, you can go to the settings of the Steam emulator and just disable it from loading the DLCs there. It is also a viable method, obviously, but well. Okay, what else can I show to you? Alright, here comes the thing which I totally forgot about when I was recording this tutorial, but thanks to the montage, here it comes. Some more neat tricks which you can do with your weapons. So let's start with punching in combat, in Don't Destroy and Load Scene, combat object, weapon selector. And now, let's actually go for the shotgun. I believe something went wrong when I was doing the shotgun. So let me try to do it again. So let's select weapon shotgun, inspect game object, and player shotgun combat controller, and remaining rounds. Don't quite see it, let's just punch in rounds. Starting rounds 999. Alright. It seems I've punched it, the starting rounds here, I've already punched it. So let's try do it, copy to clipboard and to the weapon selector. And acquire new weapon, shotgun, true, evaluate. Yeah, now it works right. So if you punch in starting rounds before you add the weapon, it works nicely. As it should have. Actually, I was quite sure of it. I've just forgot to punch it before adding weapon when I was recording the tutorial. Either way, the theme of the current section of my video is adding an axe into my inventory, but with a twist. So let's say I want weapon axe fireman, and let's say by default, as we can see by the field HUD inventory location, axe is in slot 1, which is a slot for baseball bats and other blunt weapons. But let's say I want it in slot 0, so I can select axe and bat separately from each other. It will be more comfortable for me. In fact, I want to place my axe in a sword, and I actually want to make it act as a sword. And it will do with the field's weapon damage type and weapon stall spot. As with the shotgun, I can replace them right now, but for the sake of demonstration I will replace them later, and I will add the default axe into my inventory first. And here it is in slot 0, just as I've put it. Not in the slot 1, but in the slot 0. So by default, and this is what I want to demonstrate, let's find a rider without a helmet. Any will do. Let's... come on, guy. Oh boy. This is really hard when the game stutters like this. So, by default, as you can see, we didn't decapitate him. And as you may know, swords decapitate riders in this video. And by the way, I've acquired the sword. So let me inspect the newly acquired sword and put it style spot on bike. Apply. And select our axe, not the one we've did it with, but the clone that we have assigned to our character. Once again, if I could did it in the original axe, but now that we've assigned it to the character, it is another instance of the axe with a different set of parameters. The parameters are stored in a separate place for every instance of the weapon, so we need to do it with this one. So we replace the style spot on bike to the back, so it will be stored on the back just like a sword. And we replace the weapon damage type from axe to sharp. As you can see on our machete, sharp is a damage type which is applied to swords. And of course we press apply everywhere. And now we got a cycle. And as you can see now, our axe is stored on the back rather nicely. It doesn't work with every weapon, but a lot of weapons and selectable characters which have proper style spots assigned can store axes on their back rather nicely, as you can see. And since we've assigned a sharp damage to it, check it out! Up, almost. Boy, this... There goes his head, yeah! Axes now decapitate people. And personally, I think that it is way cool. I like having decapitating axes in my inventory. I don't know about you, but I like it. And it's kind of a shame that axes by default do not decapitate people, but at least now we can do it ourselves with this awesome set of tools. Oh boy, the game is fun, even when it's stuttering like crazy. Alright, anyway, let's move on, sorry. Let me address such an issue as particular helmet, which I remember right now at the moment while I remember it. A particular helmet is named... So, particular helmet is named... I've got a short list of the helmets that are of interest to me here. Barbarian Predator, yeah, that's the helmet I'm interested in. Thing is, so let's try it with this rider. So, thing is, this helmet, Barbarian Predator, is as far as I'm concerned, it only exists in 2 instances. We will right now see them. Predator. Search. In 2 instances, blue and red. It doesn't exist in non-default instance. And here how these instances look like. Let's assign helmet Predator red to our rider. Oh boy. Here, as you can see, all those tasks are of bright red color. We have a normal Barbarian Predator rider, and we do not have a helmet for him, normal helmet. And this might go tricky because I don't quite remember how I've done it, but this is an example of how do you replace the texture in the game. So a rare rider attributes, Predator. Here's our rider, Barbarian Predator selectable. And I know for a fact that there are no other instances of the Predator helmet because I did a search through these scenes and I didn't find this helmet in any of these scenes. And a little bit more about the whole issue is coming soon. In a moment, come on. Oh, I need to select something, whatever. So, the tricky part here is that the texture of the helmet and the texture of the rider are coming from the one file. So we press onto the game object and we go for the we go for the body, I believe. Yes, and in the body of our rider Barbarian Predator selectable, there is a component that says Skinned Mesh Renderer. This is what we need, and now we need to find a Skinned Mesh Renderer in the helmet. And helmet Barbarian Predator red game object. Once again, inspect. And here is Unity Engine Mesh Renderer. Not Skinned Mesh Renderer, but it will work. And now we just compare them. In fact, I already see this. Here it is, Rider Barbarian Predator Armor Red. We need to replace it with Rider Barbarian Armor. Here it is. So we just copy this material and paste it into our helmet right here. And this is another instance. The object and transform lines we do not touch. Yes, this is it. This should do it actually. Let's just reload it now and see if it worked. And just like this. Yes, as you can see, our tasks now are of normal white color, and this is how you swap textures via the Unity Explorer. Why it might come handy? Well, at the very least, I've found one unused texture for a bike. So, in theory, you can use Unity Explorer to replace the texture of a bike right here and now. But the bikes are using at least 3 textures, I believe, for the body, for the front fork, and for the rear. Pardon me. Hiccups. And for the rear fork, I'm not sure how it's called. Oh god, how embarrassing! I forgot how this part of the bike is called. Anyway, I believe the bike is split in 3 parts, and replacing 3 textures in the memory of the game every time you do this is kinda not very comfortable. And this brings us to the Unity AssetStudio. We will actually use 2 tools for this thing, AssetBundleExtractor and AssetStudio. And starting with the last one. Well, we double click it, here it comes, and now we just file, and you load all this bunch of files from global managers, levels also contain assets. Only assets actually contain assets, but it is comfortable to select them all, and the AssetStudio will sort out the files that contain assets and files that do not contain assets on its own. It's a smart tool, I really appreciate this tool. So here we are in the AssetStudio, and AssetStudio is also useful for actually checking those things that you find in Unity Explorer in the game, or vice versa. You can first find them in AssetStudio and then try to summon them in the Unity Explorer in the game. And here's how it works. For example, scene hierarchy, and we search for the Predator line. And as we search for the Predator line, here's our Rider Barbarian Predator selectable. Press enter, selectable blue, selectable red. Here's our blue helmet and red helmet. And this is it. 5 instances. This is why I'm pretty sure there is no uncolored Barbarian helmet in the game by default. However weird does it sound. This is also the tab that says Asset List, and this is most useful tab for browsing textures. In fact, let me demonstrate it to you by punching in Harley. And now here are our Harley textures. Red Harley, yellow Harley, brown Harley, etc. And here's how you do it. So you just search around for stuff like bike or helmet. There's also filter type. You can only search for textures or only for meshes, which is kind of cool, by the way. You can take a look at all the bike bodies here. And then once you've found those in the Asset Studio, you can try and invoke those in the Road Redemption via the Unity Explorer. As a matter of fact, let me now demonstrate to you how to make a very simple texture swap using AssetStudio and AssetBundleExtractor. We will not need Unity Explorer for this one, so let's do a really quick texture swap. I want a texture swap for this rider, Moto Soldier. I do not like his hockey suit. You can see how it looks now, and I know for a fact that there is a red texture of him in the files of the game. And I know this guy is called SWAT. And I need texture 2D. So Rider SWAT body red. Yes, I want this one. And his default one is called Rider SWAT body desert. So what we need to do now is right click this texture and press show original file. Shared assets 0, and for the red, oops, it's his head. Show original file, also shared asset 0. Oh, that's just great. So now what we need to do is open shared assets 0 in AssetBundleExtractor. Like this. And here we are, we do a sorting by name, and we go for Rider SWAT body. H element rider, here are riders. Rider SWAT body red. We choose the Rider SWAT body red texture, and we do plugins, export to TGA into the documents. Alright. Now we can actually open that TGA file with Photoshop and edit it however we see fit. Where it is. Actually, this is a glitch in the program. I've already encountered this one. AssetBundleExtractor at last version 3 shows that it will extract it into the documents, but in fact it extracts it into the game folder and data folder. Except it doesn't. Is it? Oh boy, this is ridiculous. Oh, alright, it happens. It happens. Let's just plugins, export to TGA, and save it again. Something along those lines. And refresh. Alright, this is getting annoying. Where is my TGA? Come on now. Road redemption data, rider SWAT body, save. I just cannot see my TGA file. Alright, this is getting weird. Plugins, export to TGA. By God, it just refuses to work. Why though? Never happened to me before. Come on, extract something somewhere, will ya? Maybe I didn't launch it with admin rights or something. Frankly, pardon me, but this is the first time something like this happens. Let's just relaunch the whole thing. Shared assets, name, rider, SWAT, red. Oops. Rider, SWAT, red. SWAT body red. Yes. SWAT body red. Texture 2D. Plugins. Export. Come on, do it. Let's do it twice. I still don't get it. Very peculiar. Quite peculiar. Let's try export dump. Let's just export something. Alright. It worked. Why does plugin doesn't work? And I know it should work because let's just export it to the C drive. Because I already did a small texture mod for this game. Alright, this is very weird and I don't know what to say, but I've kinda expected something like that, and therefore I keep a second version, an older version of AssetBundleExtractor on my hard disk drive. So let's just open an older version of AssetBundleExtractor. I find it more reliable, really. It works pretty much exactly the same. Just opening this, name, and go for the rider. Funky. I'm not sure why that happened, but it happened. Rider, SWAT body red, texture to D, plugins, export to TGA. And as you can see, it exported normally. I'm not sure. AssetBundleExtractor 3.0 is kind of a... well, it's a better program, it says so, So yeah, stuff can happen, I suppose. I guess I'll attach both stable and beta version of the AssetBundleExtractor into the description of the video, and you'll just select the one that will work for you. God sees I've tried to use 3.0, but for some reason, yeah, it says beta, so... Anyway, once you've extracted the body, you can do whatever you want with TGA. You can edit it in your Photoshop or whatever, but ultimately, after all, you just select texture body desert or whichever texture you want to replace. You press plugins, you press edit, OK, and texture load. And you load this, you press OK. Quality setting, I guess normal works fine. And now you press file, save. And let's rename it to 02. And now, just for the kicks of it, we will create the backup of the original file. Oh yeah, AssetStudio holds this file, so we need to close AssetStudio. Come on, close, close, close. I've closed it. Oh, BundleExtractor, of course. It holds it as well. So, close all our tools. And now we are free to rename the newly created file to its original name. And now we can launch our road redemption. Pum pum pum. And now, as we press the campaign, and as we select our rider, yes, as you can see, he has a red body. This is how you do texture swaps in Unity games. Easy, really easy. So, what can we do now? Actually, let me demonstrate to you how to assign something cool to your rider. So, what we can do with your rider here is... let's first select... well, whatever. Rider selectable blue, let it be this one. Just for the purposes of demonstration, it will work perfectly. So, and the helmet should be Cyber Ninja or something. Helmet, search. Oh, come on now. Helmet, cyborg. Not cyber, but cyborg. Like this. Yeah, Cyborg Ninja Blue. This will work finely. And replace the helmet. Didn't quite copy it to clipboard once again. Like this. Alright, now we reload this scene and select our rider. And here is our rider. In fact, I'm pretty sure the model and the texture is identical to an actual Sigma boss, but whatever. So, and I'm not sure, but this trick doesn't quite work in the garage in Sims, so we need to select our rider here. Easier to do it with combat once again. So, and instead of combat object, we select bike Harley Black Red Flames. It's our current bike. And from here we go to bike Harley, brake lights, rider, female cyborg selectable. This is our current rider. We go to his attributes and we go into the methods and we go to add power shield material to rider body. We press evaluate here and add power shield material to rider helmet and we press evaluate here. And now we close it and voila! We have the same power shield material that the Sigma boss and other high-level, high-ranked AI riders have. Obviously it's only cosmetical, but it looks cool. So you can do this to your player and you can play like this as well, among other things. I think it's pretty neat. So, what else do we have? Well, what else I have in mind? Well, it's not much, but I guess I should show it to you as well, you know, to be thorough. So, let's replace our second rider with my favorite rider was named well, not favorite, one of my favorites. Underworld by Barbarian Underworld. It's helmet, we need the rider. A rare rider attributes. Yeah, Underworld selectable blue. I need blue. I've chosen red, I want blue. Copy to clipboard. And we replace our second rider with this dude. Just like this. And now we enter the campaign. Here it is. And thing is, I'm not sure, it just enters the area of glitches that can wait for you in the game. Let me just run a quick test, because as far as I understand, with this rider, when you get hit with a weapon, you will be recolored. Yeah, like this. As you can see, my head switched color to the default one. And I can fix it. This thing happens because of of the fact that we apply materials to the texture or something and said materials of blood are only applied to the default texture. I'm not sure. Thing is, we go to the rider attributes of the barbarian rider attribute. This one that we've replaced with our... The one that we've replaced with our... the rider that we replaced our default rider with. And now we go for the, I believe, game object once again. We go for the body, skinned mesh renderer, and here we need to find the switch which says... Ooh, I should have probably wrote it down somewhere. I guess I've selected the wrong menu. Maybe it is in the rider attributes actually. Debug is optimized. I definitely remember that it is a bool value. Boolean, so it is true or false. And that's about it. Or maybe it is in Unity Engine Transform. No, I do not see it. Oh boy. This is a failure. Cast shadows. Materials, motion vectors, receive shadows. No boy, I do not see it. This is bad, man. Occlusion shadows enabled. Oh boy, I was afraid I will forget the menu which makes which helps me to recolor the helmet, but instead I forgot the menu which fixes this glitch. Body mesh renderer, bones. Oh, maybe this head. It's transformed. We need an object head or something like this. Does it have head in his... It only has transform. Oh yeah, here it is. Here's our wounded material, but I've did it differently. So yes, you can see our wounded material is different. It's orange head bloody. I wonder if there's blue head bloody in the game. In fact, let's try to find it right now. Material. Selectable red. That's a lot of materials here. Orange head bloody. I found the orange head bloody, but I cannot see anything about the blue. Oh no. We need underworld blue. Oops. Oh boy. Alright, 10 results. And no, there's definitely no bloody material for the head. So we need to find a boolean thing that disables usage of this bloody material. And it was somewhere right here, but I just can't see it. I was pretty sure I won't be able to lose it. Yet here I am. Here's our rider underworld selected blue. Debug is optimized. Body skinned mesh renderer, hair animation. Power shield head mesh. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What a failure. Inspect game object. Wounded material script, it's right here. Oh, yes. Yes, oh boy, pardon me. So, once again, to disable this thing, we go for the rider attributes. We select our rider, which is... Oh, get lost. Which is Barbarian Underworld Selectable Blue. And we go into Inspect Game Object. And we go for the Wounded Material Script. And here at the very first field line, which says Allow Wound Materials, we make it false and we click Apply. Yeah, this is it. It's good I found it again and shot it on video this time, so I won't lose it myself again. So now, if we will start a new campaign with our rider unwounded, because it is the quickest way to show you an example. And here we go. And now, if I'll get hit...
You're entering Reaper territory. Take down anyone who gets between
Come on, hit me hard. I'm here. As you can see, his head is still blue. Sure, we have no blood applied, but I think this glitch is... No blood is not even a glitch, it just... Well, I think it's better this way. Alright. I guess these are all examples which you can do with Unity Explorer, which I have to show you for today. And really, I'm just touching the surface here. Thing is, this game also has hooks. This tool also has hooks, free cam, lights manager, cam path. This is mostly the screenshot thing which is described here, which I will link in the description. And there is also a C# console, a whole console which you can use to, I believe, to your ability to write patches for the Unity game on the fly, which means you can make permanent patches with this thing and not do the same changes in the memory every time you launch the game. Not to mention that you can hook the thing directly to your DNSpy. Here is the line which says View in DNSpy. I haven't even tried this thing. In fact, I've only spent like a week in the Unity Explorer, so I'm really just touching the surface myself as well. But I think it's a nice video to show you what you can do with the Road Redemption using this tool and a little bunch of others. Also, one last thing before I'll sign off. You may notice that this rider doesn't have the career completed badge, while my original rider, the rider street selectable, this dude, he actually has it. I can show it to you. If I'll restore the rider street selectable here by copying him to clipboard and replacing this cyber ninja, oops. Come on. Like this. Yeah. And reload the campaign, the garage menu. Here, as you can see, helmet doesn't mean a thing, but the rider himself actually has a badge. And even unselectable riders are written into your game correctly. And thing is, this is because the game actually uses this GUID line to record the completion status of your riders into the save game. You can go into the documents, Road Redemption, saves. Oops, it's game settings, pardon me. I do not need it. And here's your save. Mine is 00 save and it is pure text. You can just open it in Notepad. And here are these lines. Riders used to beat campaign. here's my rider street selectable, and here's my rider blue select underworld. So in order to fix it and reassign this badge to the original rider that was here, Nitro Punk is his name, I believe, we need to write this line, this one, B3AB6EF, instead of this one into my save game. If this bothers you, I just felt like I have to mention it. So replace this line with place this line in instead of this one, and you will have Nitro Punk have this badge assigned, which will make your rider menu look nicely, I guess. So yeah, if that bothers you, the fact that badges will go to the riders that are not even in the menu, you can fix your save game manually. In fact, save game is one other thing that you should explore in the Road Redemption, because as I've just showed you, save game is pure text and therefore it is fully editable. For example, I know for a fact that I do not like starting with jump jets, and I like to remove that bonus from my save game just because I do not like jump jets. And there's a lot of stuff you can do with save game. So once again, just like alongside of exploring Unity Explorer and its functions, I also recommend to you to explore the save game of this game, of Road Redemption. Because yeah, it's rather nice. It allows you to do a number of things. Overall, Unity Explorer works with the memory of the game, so if you fuck up in the Unity Explorer, nothing happens. However, if you fuck up with your save game, well, you will lose your save game. Well, probably you will be able to restore it, but anyway, what I want to say is every time you mess with the files, do not forget to actually make backups. And I guess this is the end. Nothing else really comes to my mind, and if it will come, I guess I'll just write it down in the notes, which should be in the description along with all the other stuff. So far my notes contain only the names of the models which I found interesting for myself and nothing else. And here's why you probably don't want to select a police bike: its lights are quite obnoxious. But other than that, this is it, that's how you do it. I hope it was interesting. If you liked this video, stay tuned for more. If you didn't, feel free to call me names in the comments. But overall, thank you very much for being with me, cats. Have a good day, stay cool, good luck.